Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So as promised, I'm back on the horse, and I got another update slash meatloaf for you guys. A couple of projects that I've been working on in the background I want to show you. I got a Kindling splitter that I've been fiddling around with. I've got a light, I'm going to call it a light tower, but you guys can figure out what you might want to use that for too. It's mainly to show a particular construction technique. And I got a few tools, and but let's get into it and get on with the show. Well, you guys asked for it. You know, watching me land wires and put screws in. But hey, it's all in good fun here. So this is I'm reconnecting wiring on the Fanuc Wire EDM machine. This is the pump cart that we're looking at here, and this is the main power coming into the pump cart. And when I disassembled it, I kind of labeled some stuff just so I didn't have to remember too much. I mentioned before that these guys really did a nice job looming these wires so that you know, it's pretty easy to put back together. And then they're all ring terminals. And then you got to take the screw all the way out. And pretty essential for this job is a screw starter. And there's a couple different types here. This one, well, it's kind of bent, so that's probably my favorite. This one, the way it works is it moves in and out of this tube, right? So you push it forward, and then the tips close up, and then and look at this. They painted the screws as a quality QC check that they've been torqued or whatever. So at least that's my guess, because they all have that. So we put it in the slot, and then we just press it forward. Oop. Okay, well, you can't wiggle it to the moon, right? But it certainly allows you to. Let me set this one down here. I'll use that other one on the next go around there. It allows you to hold on to the ring terminal and then get the thing started. Now you're not going to be able to put any torque, you can just pop it off. And then the rule is, once you put it in, torque it down, right? So that way you don't forget it, okay? Make sure that, okay, that one's loose. So we'll pop this one out, and then I'll show you the other type here, okay? Take it out of there. This other type, and this is a little stubby here. It's got a, you kind of cock this one here, okay, and then insert it into the screws, same deal, and then push it, and you hear the click, and now that's in there, okay. So we'll go ahead and land the ground here. So here's a good example. So this one's marked G, ground, and it's got it's yellow with a green stripe, right? But the terminal block is labeled 4. Now, below this, there's another ground on the other side of the terminal block. So I'm pretty confident that there's no mix-up, and you know, and I took it off, so I kind of remember. But you know, a lot of these things, you just gotta take a look at them and kind of make sense of them. Okay. Now, see, this one's a little short for this. I have a longer one of this type here. Okay, and this one's kind of neat as you kind of torque it down, it recocks it for the next one. Okay, so let's get that lined up the way I want. Put the gronk on it. Okay, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, and I gotta get on that one still. So because I got a big main ground wire that's going to be going in there. Okay, that lands on that one. So okay. All right, let's keep going here. There's plenty more to go. Make sure it's facing the right way. So, and then I'll just go down the row for this particular loom at the end and torque them all down. All right, last one in this cabinet. Make sure that's got a onesie on it. Yep. And you can't get the 6 and the 9 screwed up on this because the way they laced them is good. Okay. This one goes all the way from here. Yep. And I'm going to over Gronk here. These are just little M3 screws or whatever they are. And some of the electronic guys are going, oh my God, straighten the tails of those connectors out. You're driving me nuts. Dogs are yapping out there. There's always something for those little monkeys to bark at. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's kind of pull that along a little bit. Get that in there nice. All right, it's got a cover. Nice little cover. Click. All right. Ta-da. One of the things I removed, there was a bathroom previously built in the shop, and one of the things I ended up with a bunch of is a whole bunch of construction lumber, 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x12s, stuff like that. And it's really dry, so it's kind of hard to work with building something else. And it had nails going in every which direction, and I pulled all the nails and stuff out, but a lot of it's really twisted and screwed up. So what I've been using that material for is kindling for our wood stove. And there's some kindling splitting options out there, but anyway, this is my rendition of it here. It's just something I kind of put together real quick. And, you can kind of see what it is. I got a blade that's sharpened with another blade at 90 degrees sharpened, and then a spreader. This was a recent addition. So, but anyway, I just want to show you how it works. And so I call this Mark II. Mark I was just the 2 blades, the cruciform, 90-degree blades. And then Mark II is with the splitter on it. It works good for, I made it so it'll fit a 2x6 across this way, right? And this is safer than using the old hatchet. Hold it, let go and swing with the hatchet kind of thing, or hold it with a hatchet. This you're putting it here and you're driving it through, so as it goes through, you just kind of let go of it. And so it's kind of like pounding a stake in, or with a sledgehammer or whatever. If you hit yourself with the hammer, it's not gonna hurt, right? If you hit yourself with a hatchet that's sharpened properly, you're gonna have a trip to the ER, right? But anyway, let's demo this thing here. So and you can subdivide as far as you want to go. Let's do that again. Let's go this way this time. That's better. I'm using a soft-faced hammer here, so if I accidentally hit that, I'm not gonna make a bunch of work for myself. So I don't know. It works pretty good. I can make a week's worth of kindling in a few minutes. This is pretty optimal stuff here, right? For people that have wood stoves. So And I don't know, I haven't tried driving too many 4x4s through it, but I think you probably could. And like I said, this is just mild steel, so if it gets dull, and I haven't sharpened it yet, but if it gets dull, you just hit it with a file and tune it up, and Bob's your uncle. So anyway, this will be back, because it will get better. My guarantee to you. So this is, I'm doing the formwork here for pouring a little slab here. It's about, I don't know, 60 by 5 feet by 8 feet roughly. And this is where the my new Ingersoll, well not new, my new to me Ingersoll Rand rotary screw compressor. My buddy Jeff Tiedekin, Yeti Man on Instagram, he had to upgrade his compressor, and he had kind of an oddball compressor that he was using. It's a large unit, you know, it's like, I don't know, 5 horse or whatever it is, screw compressor, but it happens to be single phase, which is beneficial to me because now I can run it off the single phase side of my my shop circuit, and I don't have the added overhead of the phase converter to run that compressor, right? So it, you know, most industrial folks probably wouldn't want it, but for me it's like nearly perfect. So I'm gonna pour a slab, and Home Depot's got a little kind of metal utility shed that I'm gonna put around it, and I got a 40 amp feed right inside the wall here that's gonna supply that, and then I'll run distribution plumbing inside the shop. So anyway, that's just, you know, progress picture there. And I had some of this horse fencing left over from another project, and guess what? It's going to go inside that slab forever and be my reinforcement there. And anyway, I had to pick up some supplies to finish the formwork, some more stakes and stuff. But anyway, that's going on. What we got here, what I want to show on this is this tape right here. So what this is, so, and I mentioned it before, the older I get, the kind of the weaker my grip gets, and so, you know, gloves and anything that helps me kind of hold on to things is worthwhile. Anyway, where I learned about this particular stuff is, and if you haven't watched him, he's a real professional, you know, forester. He's a logger, right? It's Bjarne Butler on YouTube, and he showed, you know, he fells trees and bucks trees and does all that forestry work for a living. So, you know, he talks chainsaws and sharpening and blah blah blah. But he's Canadian, so he's a hockey fan. And what this, you know, he uses this hockey tape, hockey stick tape on a lot of his tools, right? He's got a short-handled axe he uses for driving wedges and things like that, and then on the handlebars of his chainsaw, he puts it on there too, right? Just to get a better purchase. So anyway, I bought some, and this is the stuff I bought, the Howies hockey tape here, and that's how it comes. They got a couple of varieties. I got clear slippery stuff and then grippy stuff in different colors. You know, this is the only type that I bought, so I don't know if this is the best stuff or not. It seemed to be a pretty good seller, so I went ahead and tried it. I've been very happy with it. It's very tough. So I've put it on the handles of a few things. This is my framing hammer here as one thing I put it on. And then here's a more extreme example, my splitting maul, where it's had more abusive use, and you can even see I built up a knob on the end here a little bit, and this stuff is pretty good. It stays on, and you know, it just gives you a little more purchase. You can actually build it up to make a shape if you want. You know, you could put, you know, a bulk of it here and a bulk of it here and create a, you know, a sword grip almost or whatever. But like I said, I've been real happy with it. It's a cloth tape. It's got a pretty good adhesive on it, and it's not very stretchy, so it's not a stretchy tape, but it lays in there and it stays on. And this is a pretty, I would call it severe usage of it, kind of a hand grip, and I haven't been babying these at all, and this has been going in and out of my, I got not nail bags, but a hammer holder that's got a metal loop that this drops through and rubs on going in and out, and it's been holding up pretty good. So anyway, if you got a grip job that you need to do, check out some hockey tape. And if anybody out there is a hockey player and they can talk about in the comments maybe about different brands. Like I said, I don't know if this is the best that's out there. Seems to be pretty good, and but this is my only experience with it too, so that's my my caveat there. So anyway, Howies hockey tape. If you need a grip job, check it out. So this is a new find for me. I probably mentioned it in the past that I have a industrial hearing loss from many years of working in shop environments and air hoses and noisy machinery and that kind of stuff. And you try different solutions with hearing protection, right? And for many years, this is kind of my was kind of my go-to hearing protection, right? And these are roll-up ones, and then you insert them in your ear, and off you go. Now, the problem that I encountered myself was when I was managing an engineering job shop. I was going between the shop and the office a lot, and so taking these in and out became a real problem, right? You're taking them in, you're putting them out, and they just get dirty almost immediately, right? So you either try to leave them in, or in my case, I started not using them, right? And so I attribute some of my hearing loss from that period of my career, right? Where I was going in and out of the office a lot. Now, I'm pretty much in the office. So anyhow, but I do work at home, right? And that's really too loud, right? And but this has a similar problem, right? So, for example, I might be doing something and, oh, hey, I want to video that segment, right? So I'm going to take my earplugs out, video that little thing, right? Put them back in. So, it's almost the same thing. Well, what happened actually not that long ago was a new guy at work. His name's Derek, cool cat. And he's working in the building where my office is, right? And we have a whole bunch of these. We got a dispenser that dispenses these, right? And he said, "Hey, I really don't like those roll-up type. Can I get some of these behind the neck type?" I said, and I was confused at first. I thought he meant the ones that are on a lanyard, which are really terrible, right? This lanyard basically gets wound up and hooked on everything, and the things get yanked out of your ears. And he said, no, these are the ones that have a little, you pop them around your neck, right? And he showed them to me, and I said, yeah, get some, right? Well, I said, geez, these are better than the full earmuffs, right? Which are like sweat boxes on your ears, and but are pretty convenient to take on and off, right? Well, this is kind of the in-between, right? So these are the first ones I got here, and this particular shape doesn't fit my ear canal very well. This is the one I settled on here that seems to work pretty good. And I'll tell you what, I'm wearing them way more often now, and you can just pop them off and put them around your neck, right? And they just stay there. And I was doing a bunch of construction with the skill saw, right? And that's a little too loud, right? And so, boom, you pop these in, make your cuts, take them back out, and now you're nailing or screwing or doing whatever it is that you're doing, right? Which isn't as noisy, right? But as soon as you got to cut something, you can pop these in, and you don't have to worry about washing your hands. It even says wash your hands before you put those in, all that stuff, right? Anyway, if you're in a similar situation, I suggest that you try some of these because they actually work pretty good. Now, here's the only dinger, is the noise reduction rating for these is less than these. These have a 30, if you put them in perfectly, they got a noise reduction rating of 33 dB, right? These are only 20 something, I think, if you put them in perfectly. But it's better than wishful thinking, let's just put it that way, right? So even if you get them in there 75% correctly, right, you're still getting some noise reduction rating and some value out of it. And the use barrier, or the use effort barrier, is dropped. And so anyway, I've kind of switched over to these, and you'll probably see them around my neck in the videos, because that, you just pop them off and you put them around your neck, and you can hear well again. And then when you got to do something obnoxious, you just plug them in, and Bob's your uncle. Anyway, check them out. These are, I think these are made by Honeywell. These are 3M. These are 3M. There's a bunch of makers of these, different varieties. And you'll probably have to experiment to find the best one. My big fat neck and angle of my ear canal, these actually work the best. So anyway, check it out. Public safety announcement. So Uncle Stan at Bar Z Industrial turned me on to these here. And what these are these are Makita brand impact sockets. So there's nothing, what do I want to say here? There's nothing like super remarkable about the sockets themselves, right? The best part of these is the packaging, okay? And it's very subtle, and but the packaging is excellent, okay? Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty excellent. So let's just kind of scope that out. Like I said, there's nothing like super special about the sockets. I mean, they're good quality sockets. They're nice and hard, and they seem to be pretty tough, and they seem to hold up. And but this little package that they come in is a sweet item here. Now, Stan's had a set of these for, I mean, his are almost silver, right? He's used them so much, right? And, I just love seeing a tool that is used all the time, and it shows its kind of battle scars, but it's still there. It's still hanging in there, right? And so I'm not there yet. These are all pretty fresh. I'm a newbie on the Makita Impact sockets. But the packaging's great, because you can literally throw these off a ladder and you won't lose any sockets, right? And in your toolbox or in your tote or whatever, however you carry your tools, they stay together really nice, right? Now this is 1/4-inch drive, and all these are 1/4-inch hex, for this guy here, right? So, and the drivers are actually really good too. They have they've got a really good ball detent, and that snaps into the socket really positively, right? And in particular, if you line it up with the hole, right? And it stays in there really good. And then, like I said, they're just firmly seated in this. It's literally it's vinyl, right? But it's and I'll tell you why that one's turned over, right? And in a sec. So hands down, really happy with that, and I'm using this more and more for tightening fasteners and things like that. Unistrut, and you're driving screws, and there's all kinds of things you're doing. These are metric, color coded, right? Imperial metric, so easy to tell apart. So generally very happy. The negatives are you can't read the socket size while they're in it, and hence the marks, right? It just gives me a couple of reference points, right? Now this one I haven't marked, but that one's turned over. Guess why? That's the 7/16 right there, right? So I know I'm 1/2 inch on that side of it, 3/8 on that side of it, and that's 9/16. So you got a reference point, right? So that's the only weakness that I can kind of whine about, right? Is that you can't see the socket size. Now, sure, you can look at them, and if you're pretty good, you can guess, but that's like the guessing game with Allen wrenches, right? And so you're not batting 100%. So anyway, these are these are commonly used sizes. So I know that one's 9/16. That one's a useless size. That's 11/16, right? Who the hell uses that, right? Oh no, that's a 5/8. Okay, this will be the 11. There's one that will stay black for a very, very long time, right? So 11/16. So anyway, you got some reference points, and these will go in your kit really well and stay together. And I challenge you to tear one of these up. They seem pretty tough. If Uncle Stan can't hammer one into oblivion, then that's the slap of the gauntlet for somebody to try to wreck one of these. So anyway. And they're, this is like a $20 set, which is, that's pretty moderately priced, wouldn't you say? I mean, high quality impact sockets with a driver in a holder, 20 bucks, $22 or something like that for that. And this one was 19 or 21 or, I mean, it's the same amount of work, right? It's just a little less material, right? I mean, all the same operations, it's just less material. And so I don't know. I'd call that a really good value, right? So anyway, if you're shopping for some impact sockets, 6-point. They don't have 12-point. If you're shopping for some sockets, check out the Makitas. Home Depot carries them. It's in a little blister pack, and in the I don't know, tool section, where they got all the driver bits and all that stuff. So okay. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? So this is kind of an experiment here. When I was at the Bash last year, I was talking to my friend Jim Bollinger about windmills, and he says, "Oh yeah, you got to buy one and restore one." And I was telling him, "Nah, I'm really thinking I might want to make one, right?" And I got some property now and some places to put something like that. Now, I don't know what I would use it for. It's just the idea of designing and building a windmill that's kind of appealing to me, right? So, I got some sketches and some ideas, I've been throwing in a folder just to kind of collect all this stuff. But last year, I built this tower, right? And as I had this thought, I said, hey, listen, EMT, electrometallic tubing, EMT, otherwise known as electrical conduit, is readily available all over. Right now it's not particularly cheap, but when steel prices are down, it's actually fairly cheap, okay? It's pretty uniform, it's pretty high quality stuff, right? And so I said, gee, how tall of a tower could I build, right? And so I laid one out, and this is actually the middle section of my proposed tower, right? So, which would be a total of about 30 feet high. So this is a little over 10 feet here, and I got it's a 3-foot square at the bottom, and then when it's fully installed, the footprint at the base is 4 feet by 4 feet, okay? And then it goes up to basically almost a point at the top. So anyway, I put this together just using a impact gun and some self-tapping screws and a vise for squashing the ends of the EMT. And then I started, once I built the thing, I realized how strong it was, right? And I said, geez, I wonder how strong this really is, right? You start thinking about the limitations of it and whatnot. And you might be surprised how much load you can put on a structure like this, right? And that's kind of what I want to show because it's kind of fun. So I'm going to get this set up on the welding table, and I'm going to hook a dynamometer to it, and we're going to load it up and just look at some numbers for fun and let you guys stew on that, what you might use a structure like that for in your application. So if you had 2 of those, you could put a beam across and have some kind of lifting device. And there's things like that. Or hey, maybe you're a ham radio person, right? And you need to put an antenna up or something like that. Or hey, My current thought is I'm going to put a solar-powered parking lot light on the top of that I can move around when I'm working on the property somewhere, or just put it near the gate, or put it somewhere that I want to put it, and I don't have to wire it up, and I got free light, right? So anyway, let's get it set up, and we'll check it out. It took me a minute to get it rigged up, just because of the oddball slings and stuff that I have, but I got it. I got a little preload on it right now. I don't know, 300 pounds or something like that. That does not look super centered up at the top. Let me relax it a little bit and see if I can center things up a little bit here. I'm looking up at the top. Let's see if you guys can get a view up there. It's not centered up the way I want, so I'm going to fiddle around with it a little bit more, and then we'll come back to the dyno, which is the more interesting part. All right, I got a little bit better. Let's go ahead and we're going to load it up a little bit and see how it goes. That'll be fun. I got to go up here to do it. Bar in here, and then. What's that? Oh, good. Okay, so there's about 1,000. Feels pretty good. What's that? 1,200. What's that? 1,400. All right. Anything acting weird? No. Yeah. I don't know if it fails. I'm not sure quite how it's going to fail. It'll probably just bend and then release a bunch of pressure. What's that? You dropping? Oh, something's settling here because we're drifting a little bit. So I'm not sure what's settling. All right, so let it sit for a minute. See anything that's misbehaving there? Another click, what do you say? All right, there's 2,000. All right, still looks pretty good. So I had added these leg extensions so that to me there's some uncertainty in those leg extensions. When I tested it before, I was on the stubs here. But I don't know. Let's give it another click, see what happens. You gotta have a place to run here. All right, another click. Wow, what something? I'm just listening to hear any creaking and whatnot. Well, something's definitely settling. I don't know what it is. I got some little dents in the tubing, which are not generally good. All right. Another click. It's getting hard to pull. All right, it's almost 2,500 there. Making any bad noises. Okay, going for another click. Trying to do it smooth. What's that? Okay, I'm getting up there. I wonder if I should relax it and then load it up again. I still think that's pretty good. What? All right, what do we got there? Almost 3. I think it's 28 or something like that. 27. Yeah, it still feels okay. It's getting pretty hard to pull on this come-along handle here, so do I want to go more? What do you say? I'm going to go one more click, I think, and I might call that quits. Alright, nice and smooth. Okay, that's over 3,000 there. I need a longer lever here because this is getting hard to work. Alright, let me find a longer lever. So I re-rigged it a little bit. I didn't like, there was a weird angle at the top that the shackle was crowded. So I opened it up and divided the legs up. So let's continue. I like this rig a bit better. What's that? Over 3. One more click. Maybe, okay. What do we got? Almost 4. 4 is the max for this come along here, and I'm just going to lean on it a little bit, maybe get a click, we'll see. Okay, whew. Alright, that's close to 4. It probably went over 4 a little bit. I don't know, I have to watch the video. Anyway, I got 4,000 pounds on this right now, which is the point of the exercise, right? Okay, it's 37. Something's drifting. I don't know what's drifting. Things are stretching. The cable and the come along may be burying itself in the spool a little bit. So there's some things that are at high load that are settling out. I'm going to bounce it a little bit and see if I can get it 4K. But the point I'm trying to illustrate is, for EMT tubing and self-tapping screws, this is a pretty strong structure and pretty easy to build. You know, I built this in an afternoon or whatever. Actually, a little more than that, but it was pretty easy to build. Let's bounce it. I won't be able to see it because I'll be paying attention to the clicker here. It's a pretty hard pull at this side here. Let's see if I can get a click. Okay. Well, a new project. I broke my come along. Scared the crap out of me. Now hopefully I can release it. Ooh, didn't think of that. Alright, I gotta release it now. Let's use this other bar. Okay, good. I can release it. Well, that sucked. And the repair project. Hey, there's going to be a repair project in my future. some aluminum welding, which is always let's do this. Come on. There it goes. So that's one thing about these cable ones is they don't like to relax. So bummer. Oh well. Hey, all for you guys. All right, you oxen. That's about it for this week. And I hope you were entertained. And I'll catch you next week. And hopefully we'll have some other exciting things to look at. All right? All right, stay healthy, stay sharp. See you next week.